Come join us in our quest to solve the mystery of Gravity Falls, Oregon by listening to me, Leo, someone who's already seen the show, and Maya, someone who's completely new to the wondrous town of Gravity Falls.
We hope you enjoy Mystery Twins. Episode 3, Headhunters.
Hello, everybody. This is our third episode of the podcast, and we really appreciate that. A couple of you have actually commented on our last video, so we really appreciate that.
Yes, thank you guys so much for that.
So, we will be getting to the feedback and stuff, like we will be acknowledging it later on, but this episode is called Headhunters. What do you think is going to happen?
Maybe, I don't know, I'm thinking gnomes for some reason. I'm thinking some kind of, little species of monster, tiny, short, small, okay?
Maybe it will be, maybe it won't.
Sneaks up on you and chops off your head, like the Queen of Hearts, and brings it back and has a collection of heads. I know that's really random and pretty specific.
It's pretty dark, too.
Yeah, that's what I'm imagining right now.
Dang. All right. Well, I can tell you you're kind of far off. So this episode has one section in the book about it, and that is a Dipper section. So you're going to get to read Dipper's thoughts. So, yes, the monster that you were kind of thinking of, it's kind of far off, but it's kind of leaning towards that, I guess you could say. So, are you ready to get into it?
Yep.
Alright, let's watch the episode. Hello, guys. So, we just watched the third episode. So, I was about to ask you what your thoughts and feelings were, but nope, that's after the recap. So, are you ready to do the recap?
Yep. Are you?
I mean, I'm ready if you're ready.
Okay, let's get into it.
Alrighty. So, the episode starts out with Dipper and Mabel watching a show called Duck Detective. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's about a duck who's a detective, you know? And there was a murder! And that kind of gets them into the mystery mood, you know?
Yeah. So, Zeus walks in and leads them to a secret door that he says he found behind the wallpaper.
While cleaning.
What?
While cleaning.
Yeah, while cleaning. And they see a bunch of wax figures in the room, behind the door. And, Grunkle Stan jumps out and it, scares them. And then it starts talking about how it was one of his exhibits. And then they walk over to one of the wax figures that was, right below a window. And it was actually Abraham Lincoln, but it melted because the sun was shining on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, it was just a pile of wax.
And so, sorry, can I? All right, so Mabel says, hey, you know what I can do? I can make you a new one. And so she gets to work on hold on, I have it in my notes. She imagines a part fairy princess, part horse fairy princess wax figure. But when she encounters Dipper, he says that's probably not exactly a good idea to, do that. And he, suggests maybe she could do somebody in the family. And so, Grunkle Stan enters the room at that exact moment, stands on a briefcase and says, have any of you kids seen my pants? And just posing. And, that's how Mabel gets her muse. So, she gets to work on a Grunkle Stan wax figure.
So, Grunkle Stan, after finding all that, decides to open up a wax exhibit. So,
I have the whole... Wait, I'm sorry. Can I, so I have the whole entire speech, like, written down. Like, I wrote down the whole entire thing.
Okay.
So, can I read it?
Yeah.
Okay, then. And so the whole town just kind of, like, pours into the Mystery Shack, and Stan is preparing to give a speech. So, he says, "You all know me, folks. Town darling, Mr. Mystery. Please, ladies, control yourselves," as a bunch of flies swarms a bunch of ladies just sitting in the corner. As you know, I always bring the people of this fair town novelties and befuddlements, the likes of which the world has never known. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna try that again. She just told me what the weather was. Anyways, so the Mystery Shack. Oh, so the people. That's going into the blooper. What are you doing? Okay then. So the people of the town of Gravity Falls, they all kind of like entered the Mystery Shack, and Stan is preparing to give a speech. Stop. And I actually have the whole entire speech written down. So, ready?
Yep.
Alright, so, as you know, I always, let me try that again. You all know me, folks. Town darling, Mr. Mystery. Please, ladies, control yourselves, as a bunch of flies are swarming a bench with ladies on it. As you know, I always bring the people of this fair town novelties and befuddlements, the likes of which the world has never seen before. So Stan rips off the curtain, and he just says, "Me!" 2 people clap. Literally nobody cares. Seuss repeatedly hits the yeah button on his DJ board, and it's very funny. So, thank you all for coming. Okay, so this is Mabel now. Thank you all for coming. I made a sculpture with my own 2 hands. It's covered in my blood, sweat, tears, and other fluids. Old man McGucket asks if they are alive, in which Mabel responds with yes. Toby Determined says, "Do you really think this constitutes a wonder of the world?" Stan replies with, "Your microphone's a turkey baster, Toby." Okay then, and so, Chandra the reporter brings up free pizza that he put on the flyers. And, yes, Grunkle Stan put free pizza on the flyers, but there was no free pizza to be found. So, all the townspeople get really mad, and they kind of just leave, beating up the chairs and the poles as they go.
By the way, the statue of Grunkle Stan, Mabel put like buckets full of glitter on top of it. So it's like this shiny, glittery thing. It's really funny.
Yes.
So everyone's running around like crazy because they wanted free pizza and they're mad about it. So Uncle Stan says, "Don't you go nowhere to the wax figure." Oh, wait, no, that made no sense. He said, wait, I skipped a lot of parts.
Try again.
Uncle Stan is like sitting in the living room, like watching the Duck Detective show. And the wax figure is right next to him. He stands up and says to it, "Don't you go nowhere." Like, as if it had feet. Just as a joke, I guess. And he goes to the bathroom. And when Grunkle Stan comes back, the wax figure is laying on the ground without a head. So they call the cops, and one of the cops says the case is not solvable, and Dipper decides to try to help solve the mystery, but the cops make fun of him, and the cops leave. So Mabel and Dipper decide to find the culprit themselves. So they're like looking around the crime scene, and they find footprints in the carpet. The footprints lead to an axe, and they take it to Seuss, and he says it could be the lumberjack's axe. So Seuss says, or they're talking about like the mystery and like the clues and stuff, and Seuss says, "You two are like the mystery twins." And Dipper says, "Don't call us that."
The mystery twins, that's us. Seuss was talking about us, guys.
Yes.
Yep, he totally was talking about us.
Okay. So anyway, continuing on. Would you like to keep going, Leo?
Sure. Okay, so they leave the room to go, investigate, and they find Stan with a coffin. He says it is for Wax Stan, and he notices that Mabel has an axe in which she not violently, she just eerily swings it for some reason, as if she was in a horror movie. And Stan says, it's probably not good for a parent to let their child do this, but I'm a grunkle, so who cares? So he doesn't really, care what they're doing. So they go to this bar. Do you remember what the bar is called?
I think it was like. Oh, I have to think about this one.
This is going to be one of the trivia questions later.
Yeah. I think it was like. I got this. I think it was like the biker.
Biker was not in the name.
What?
Biker was not in the name.
Oh. Then I forget.
It was called Skull Fracture.
Oh.
Yes.
I would never have guessed that.
Yeah. All right. Oh, wait. Should I continue?
Yeah.
I can say. So, they walk in on a guy, and he says, no minors allowed. Luckily, he was talking to an actual miner and not the kids. So, a coal miner and, rock miner, he says, darn it, and he leaves. And Mabel pulls out the fake IDs complete with, googly eyes, glitter, and markers. And for some reason, the guy believes it. So, they enter the bar, and Mabel goes to interrogate one guy. And we find out what she's doing with him later. And so, Dipper, he goes and finds Manly Dan, and he sees him doing this arcade machine. The arcade machine is called Bicepticus. And he asks him what he was doing last night, and he responds with punching the clock. Literally. Little Dipper takes a look outside the window, and he sees a broken clock. He was literally punching a clock, and here's the thing. The clock was broken at 10 o'clock, the time of the murder.
Dipper saw that, and then asked about the axe, and he sees it, and he's like, I only use my right hand, but the axe was a left-handed axe, and so that made Dipper, that sparked an idea in Dipper's head. So Dipper went back to Mabel.
What was Mabel doing?
What?
And what was Mabel doing?
Yeah, the whole time that Dipper was interrogating Manly Dan, Mabel was telling the other person's fortune.
Yeah, she was telling that one, huge biker guy's fortune.
Yeah. About his wife and stuff. So,
But will she love me?
What?
But will she love me?
Yeah. He says, will she love me? As Mabel and Dipper are walking out. And so Mabel and Dipper go around town and check and see who's left-handed and who is not. So they go around, throwing baseballs at each other and, asking them to sign things, petitions and stuff. And then they finally get to the last person, and everybody else in the whole town has been right-handed. So they know that this is the person who did it.
Wait, no, not everybody. You're wrong. There's one guy who broke both of his hands.
True. Yes.
So he was no-handed.
One guy who broke both of his hands. And then they call the cops because they're like, well, of course this is the guy. So they all break in, and the dude is like so confused. Like, what did I do? So they try to arrest him for the murder of the wax figure. But Toby, this guy is Toby.
Mm-hmm. Toby Determined.
Toby Determined is his name. And he denies it. And he shows them a video of him making out with a cardboard cutout of a different reporter.
A reporter from earlier who brought up the free pizza. Oh my god, he was seen making out with the cardboard cutout, and when I tell you, it was one of the weirdest scenes I've seen in Gravity Falls. It was one of the weirdest.
So they all are like, oh, so it's not him. So the police and the other dude is laughing at Dipper and Mabel, and it cuts to the funeral scene for the wax figure, and Dipper and Mabel realize, or Dipper and Mabel are like the last ones in there because Grunkle Stan and Seuss left.
So Dipper goes to investigate the body, and they find out that on the bottom of the wax figure, there's a hole in one of his shoes. Well, earlier on the shag carpet, we saw fingerprints leading to the axe that had a hole in the shoe.
Footprints.
Yeah. Footprints that had a hole in its shoe. And so Mabel tells Dipper that all wax figures have a hole in, like, the bottom of them, so that way they can be put on a stand or something. And that's when Dipper realizes, no fingerprints, hole in the shoe. It all makes sense. Mabel, the killers are standing right behind you, as Sherlock Holmes says. Yes, all of the wax figures are alive. And as we find out later, they only come to life on a waxing moon.
Yeah, that's funny.
And so, the murderers are all wax figures. And I'm going to tell you all the names of the wax figures who we saw. But, they clap for them because they did a great job solving the mystery. But not sincerely. He tells them to clap sarcastically. So, so what they were trying to do was, they were Stan's best exhibits, and they used to come out at night. But when Stan locked them up, they became basically nothing. And so after 10 years, they wanted to get revenge on Stan by cutting off his head. Turns out they didn't cut off the head of the real Stan. So, they all decide to...
Luckily, they did not cut off the head of the real Stan.
Yeah, luckily. That would have been a quick end to the show. So they all go after Mabel and Dipper.
So Mabel and Dipper get backed, like they back them into like a corner, but right behind them is a table with candles. So they realize that they can just melt the wax figures. So
Mabel throws coffee at Genghis Khan.
What?
Mabel throws coffee at Genghis Khan.
Yeah, Mabel throws coffee at Genghis Khan, which is funny. So they are melting the wax figures, and one of the wax figures chases Dipper up onto the roof of the mystery shack or whatever.
Sherlock Holmes.
What?
Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes chases him up there. And so they're like standing up there. And Leo, do you want to continue this?
Sure. So they're battling at the top of the roof, and then right as not Dipple. I call him Dipple every episode. So right as Dipper is about to get, waxed, the figure starts melting. Sherlock Holmes got outwitted by a 12-year-old. The sun was now rising, and the figure was melting. I don't think wax figures melt that fast, but they certainly did. And just Sherlock Holmes melts. And Dipper sneezes and he calls him adorable, and then he just dies. He falls off of the roof in his melted form, and he goes down with a splat of wax.
Yes.
And so, after this, Mabel and Dipper clean up all the wax. Well, not all the wax. And then Mabel calls Dipper sidekick. And then, yes, Mabel kills Shakespeare. And then, so Stan walks in and sees this. And then he's like, what happened here? And so, they have nothing to show for him except wax Stan's head. So they give him the head, and then Blubbs and Durland, the sheriff and deputy, show up. And they start making fun of the kids until they realize they actually solved the mystery, in which Blubbs spits coffee in Durland's face, and then Durland spits coffee in Blubbs' face, and they just continue doing that for 4 more rotations, and then they drive away and crash the car.
Yeah, that part was, that was something.
Yep, and so that is the end of the recap. And so, at the end of the episode, there is a code. And earlier on in the episode, Larry King gets his head cut off by Mabel. Or was it Mabel or was it Dipper?
I forget who cut off the head.
I think it might have been Mabel, but I'm not sure.
After further investigation, I found out it was actually Dipper.
So she cuts off his head, and then we don't exactly see what happens to his head. And so, at the end credits of the show, we see Larry King's head in the vents, next to a rat. And then the code for the end of the episode just says...
Can I say the code for the end of the episode?
Sure.
So, you see him, bouncing around in the vents, because it's not the body, it's just the head. The code for the episode says he's still in the vents.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I think that's it for the recap. Do you agree?
Mm-hmm. All right, on to thoughts and feelings. So, we just finished the recap, and now it's time for thoughts and feelings. So, first of all, what were your thoughts about it? Did you like the episode, or did you not like it?
I think it was better than last episode.
Okay.
I think the first episode is superior because I love how they thought something at first and then it changed and then so many things added up to it. There were so many parts of the mystery.
It was a mystery.
Yeah. But this one, at first you thought it was the last guy, but then you see the video of him doing something else that night. So you're like, who is it? And then it's they were right in front of you the whole time. How did you not get that?
Just like the gnomes, all the clues were there. It just was something completely unexpected.
Yeah. So I think this one was a good one, but I think the first one's still superior.
I completely agree with you. I have the same list as you. I think that the first one is the best, this one second, and then Gobblewonker is third. So, what do you think? Okay, so what was your favorite part?
My favorite part of this episode was probably when, I almost said Shakespeare, when Sherlock Holmes and Dipper are on the roof, and Sherlock Holmes is like, I just got outsmarted by I think it's 12-year-old. Mm-hmm. It's funny because, he's known for being, a great detective and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then this 12-year-old comes along and just outsmarts him. It's funny.
Mm-hmm. So, here are some fun facts that, we noticed throughout the episode. So, in the background of the arcade scene, we actually see a arcade machine that is called Hirsch, but it is spelled, I have it, It is called...
And Hirsch is the last name of the
yeah.
maker.
So, it says Hurzch, and that is a reference to Alex Hirsch, the creator of the show. Although his last name is spelled differently, but it's the same last name, Hirsch.
So yeah, that was really cool.
And so... Oh, sorry. What?
You're good.
So, honestly, I think that's really it for thoughts and feelings, right?
Yeah.
Wow, all right. So, by the way, I took over 60 notes. Probably over 70. So, oh yeah, I'm sorry. We're not done with thoughts and feelings yet. I still need to name all the wax figures. Okay, and so, the wax figures seen are Larry King, Sherlock Holmes, Genghis Khan, Lizzie Borden, Queen Elizabeth II, Thomas Edison, Abraham Lincoln, who technically wasn't seen. He was, melted at the beginning. Shakespeare, Wax Coolio, Groucho Marx, Richard Nixon, John Wilkes Booth, Robin Hood, and then Edgar Allan Poe. So, those were all the wax figures that were seen.
Uh-huh.
So, I was surprised that they put Lizzie Borden in it. I'm not going to explain who she is, but I'm just really surprised that she was in it.
Yeah. So, do you want to move on to the next section?
Yep. Ready to move on to trivia, I think? Yep. Okay. All right. Welcome to trivia. Are you ready for your questions?
Yes, let's go. And I'm going to not use my notes.
Oh, really? Okay. I guess I won't either. So, what was the name of the show that they watched at the beginning?
Detective.
Yep. Good job. That's one for you. What?
Here, I'll keep track of my score.
Okay. What did Mabel say when Dipper confronted her about eating the entire tube of toothpaste?
She said, I think it was like, it was so shiny or something.
I'm going to count that. She said it was so sparkly.
Okay. So, hold on. Let me pull out
And do you want to know something funny?
to keep track.
Okay, do you want to know something funny?
Sure.
On the first episode, you said that the guy called Mabel sparkly when it was actually shiny, and on here you said that she looked shiny when it was actually sparkly. Okay, so what does Norman say when Mabel asks, "How do I look?"
Sparkly. I think it is like sparkly.
He says, "You look shiny." So,
Maybe
what?
I just confused them. Maybe my past self was like, okay, one day it's gonna say something else.
Maybe. All right, so what did Dipper and Mabel say at the same time when Seuss asked them, "Guess what I found?"
Oh, I definitely know this.
Do you?
I'm gonna take a wild guess, and I'm just gonna go with.
Oh my God! No! It was buried treasure.
Oh, I thought you were saying, "Oh my God, how did you get that?" I was like, did I really get that?
No! Why would it know?
I don't know.
Okay then, so when is the first time that we see Grunkle Stan in this episode?
Oh, I have it. When Seuss is like leading them into the room, the wax figure room, he jumps out.
Yes, that is correct. Although he doesn't exactly jump out, he's kind of just standing there in the dark room by himself, which is kind of weird. Anyways, so, which wax figure melted?
Abraham Lincoln.
Good job. So I have a hard one for you.
Okay.
What did Mabel imagine as the first draft to be the wax figure?
The first what? Oh, yeah. It was like a fairy unicorn princess. Not princess. Fairy unicorn thing.
That
Or wait, no. It was like the body of like a horse or something. The shoulders and up of a person.
want me to tell you?
Yeah.
It was a fairy princess, part horse fairy princess.
Oh, I just close.
What does Mabel always have stuck to her arm, even though we never see it at all in the series?
A hot glue gun.
Yep, that's correct. So, what is Stan's reaction when he first sees the figure?
Like, what did he say, or?
Well, what was his reaction?
I think he says, like, wait, no, hold on. I gotta think about this one. This one's kind of tough. I'm just gonna say, like, he's like, jaw drops. He loves it.
He crawls away in fear.
He what?
He crawls away in fear. You remember that?
Not really.
One like
wait. Yeah.
Okay then, so who were the three people that asked questions during the speech?
What?
Who were the three people that asked questions after the speech?
And just like last episode, Maya once again took like 5 minutes to answer. Editing magic, here we go.
Be determined.
Yep, good job. All right, and yes, the first one was named Chandra Jimenez. Okay then, and so
Are we counting that as a point or no?
yeah, we're counting it as a point. All right, so do you want to know something funny? In my notes, I said Stan says it was a typo, and I put a typo in that sentence. It says Stan says IR was a typo, so I put a typo in the typo sentence. Anyways, so
That was random, but okay.
yeah. What
Do
does
you have any more questions?
Yes, I do. I have like a ton more. Okay.
Another one of my editing magic, because I actually did have like about 20 to 30 more questions. So I'm just gonna cut it and, just keep going.
He's still in the vent?
Yep, that was it. All right, those are all my questions.
Okay. I will do my questions now.
Okay.
What is the TV show that they are watching in the beginning about?
Oh, I have this one. Hold on, let me go check.
Wait, aren't we not noticed?
Oh, we're not? Oh, okay. Detective, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
What statue melted? This one's easy.
Abraham Lincoln?
What did they write on the flyers to make people go to the opening exhibit? That was not true.
Free pizza.
Yes. Special feature did Mabel add to the wax figure of Grunkle Stan?
Special feature?
This one's a little complicated.
Was it like...
What did Mabel add that Grunkle Stan...
Oh, glitter, right? She had like a bucket of pink glitter.
Yeah. What made the cops leave the scene right after the head got chopped off of the statue?
Darn it. I know this one. He was like, No. The guy was shoving a cantaloupe down his throat.
Yes, good job.
Yes.
I knew you got that. Somebody was oh wait, yeah. I was about to ask the question as the answer. I don't know. What does Dipper say right after Sue says, "You two are like the mystery twins"?
Oh, don't call us that.
Yep. What is Toby determined doing
Oh, God.
the head is cut off?
Oh, I remember this part, but I don't want to remember it. He was making out with Chandra Jimenez, the cardboard cutout.
Yes.
Oh, that's never going out of my mind.
What makes Mabel and Dipper realize that they can melt the wax figures?
When they throw coffee at Genghis Khan and melt his face off.
Yes. When do the wax figures come out?
During a waxing gibbous? Like moon?
Yeah, waxing moon. I'll give it to you. Why did the wax figures want to get revenge on Uncle Stan?
Because he closed the attraction.
Yes, he locked them away.
Yeah.
For years and years. You already asked that one.
Yeah, I asked 17.
How much, what percent sure is Mabel that all of the wax figures are gone?
97?
It's 99.
No!
She's 99% sure that all the wax figures are gone.
Dang it.
And then right after that, it shows the head of the person in the vent.
There I came.
You asked me this, but what does the code say at the end of the episode?
Oh, easy. It says he's still in the vents.
Yes. And, why isn't the culprit Manly Dan?
Because he's left-handed. He's right-handed, but the axe is left-handed. And we learned this because he is using his right hand on the machine.
Yes. Good job. That's all my questions.
Alrighty. So, are you ready to go into the book segment? Wait, actually, how many points did you get? You probably got a lot more than me because I asked a lot more questions.
I only wrote down... Wait, how many did you get?
I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, hold on, I gotta zoom in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I also got 10.
Oh, okay. All right.
Which is sad because you had probably 10 more questions than I did.
All right then, so ready?
I'm going to say you won that one.
Okay. Ready?
Okay, on to the next episode.
All right.
Okay, so now we're going to do the book where Leo is going to read the page of the book about the wax figures. So let's hop into it.
Yep. Okay then, so after this, we are going to, take a moment to recognize the people who commented on our video. And if you would like to be recognized, all you need to do is go on Spotify or YouTube and comment on the video. And if it's nice and we think that we can, say on the podcast, we'll put it on. All right. So, here we go. So, Dipper wrote a segment on it. I do not believe that the author did. Here it is. Okay then, so it says, okay, June 8th. Okay, this town just gets weirder and weirder. Now someone has decapitated the wax figure that Mabel made of Stan. Who would do that? A jealous local artist? An axe murderer with a poor eyesight? Some cursed living wax figure? No, the idea of living wax figures is really dumb. I need to treat this like a real investigation. June 9th. We solved the case. It was a group of living wax figures. I sword fought this unholy British wax maniac on the roof and would have lost if the sun hadn't come up at the right time. Also in the group were Wax Nixon, Wax Coolio, and some old wax man with suspenders who makes me shudder just to think about. I'm going to be sleeping with the fireplace poker under my bed from now on. Okay, and so, by the way, I'm going to read June 7th because we didn't read it last time. This one is kind of just like what he says between episodes. So he says, something extra weird happened today at the grand unveiling of Stan's Wax Museum of Mystery. I think I might have seen a ghost. Stan was telling some of his corny jokes and getting the standard audience reaction. Dead silence when I spotted a strange figure at the back of the crowd. He was bald and very pale, mostly gray and white. He was holding something in his hand, but I couldn't make it out. He suddenly ran towards the forest. There was a flash of light and he was gone. There's a large section on ghosts in here and that I need to read ASAP. I think I need to be prepared in case it appears again. I'm also 90% sure that Toby determined is some sort of goblin. We'll have to investigate. And then on this one it says, note, could have sworn I saw that ghost again today. June 10th. There are 2 more pages. It is 2 a.m. and I'm giving up. There's no way to trap the thing. I don't understand how it can move so fast without any legs. Okay, I'm tired and being unclear. Let me start again at the start. This is Dipper Pines officially starting over. It started right around lunch. Mabel and I had finished disposing of the wax figures. There was a lot of melting involved. On the bright side, Mabel has some lumpy new crayons to draw with. We were watching TV and eating some of her world-famous peanut butter and whatever else is in the fridge sandwiches, when I heard something in the walls. A familiar voice came through the vent, mumbling about an exclusive interview with a possum that was coming up next. That's when I knew that something wax had survived. I tried to convince Mabel to join me in finding it, but she was busy trying out her new crayon set. She invented a new color called Blorengurple. While watching Dream Boy High 2, Kraz plus Zyler, Zbod Excellent Radventure. So I knew she was lost. Wow. Dream Boy High 2, Kraz and Zyler's Bod Excellent Radventure. Wow. So I knew that I was on my own. I needed to go into the air conditioning vents, but I wasn't going in unprepared. I said goodbye to Mabel and jumped into the living room vent. The glow from the television quickly faded as I shinnied down the duct. I turned on my flashlight and was stunned to see a maze of corridors. I could hear the creature's voice coming from above and to the left. They took me out of Brooklyn, but they couldn't take Brooklyn out of me. I followed it, dropping bits of bread from my sandwich so I wouldn't get lost. The duct got really narrow, but I was able to make it through. Just as I reached the top, I dropped the flashlight down the hole. I was left in complete darkness. I heard the creature again. It was much closer. Do blue-eyed people see better? What was that supposed to mean? Was he taunting me? Could he somehow see in the dark? I crawled blindly towards the voice, dropping more breadcrumbs as I went, and came around the corner. I could see the shape of a disassembled wax head of the Suspenders Man. By the way, this is Larry King. I was unprepared for what came next. Oh my gosh, it's a long chapter. Not chapter, it's a long entry. As I swiped it with my net, the head somehow jumped out of the way. I fell forward and landed hard on my elbow. The head mocked me. There's nothing funny about the funny bone. I swiped at it again, but it came rolling at me like a bowling ball and knocked the net out of my hands. It rolled onto the far corner, turned, and came at me. I got tangled up in my rope and covered in peanut butter from my sandwich, and ended up stuck in the bottom of a narrow duct. From above me, I heard, "Have a great week, everybody. Good night." And then the victorious head hopped away. It took me several hours to untangle myself and crawl back out into the living room. I'm going to sleep right here in Grunkle Stan's chair. Yep, that's it.
That was something. That was really long though.
Yeah, it was a really long entry.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that the longest entry is somewhere in this season. But, alrighty then. So, I think all we need to do now is just the, acknowledgements.
Yes. So Leo, you can do the YouTube acknowledgements, and I'll look and see if they're Spotify.
Okay then. So, I'm gonna go on YouTube. I'm actually pretty sure that we just got them on YouTube. So.
Hold on. How many comments?
Yeah, we didn't get any on Spotify. We only got one on YouTube. So, Withered Lulbit from last time responded to us saying, "Thanks for the shout out. Really means a lot. You guys are awesome. And yes, Leo, like the FNAF character. I thought so." Alright, and then we got Canadian French Fry. Wait. Hold on, is that it? I cannot tell.
Wait, didn't he say that last episode?
Well, yeah, but, okay, so Canadian French Fry. They flew off the cliff. Help. But no, for real though, you guys are really great podcast hosts. This is a great idea, and I love your mood throughout your videos. Can't wait to see what you do next. Alright.
Well,
That's it.
thank you all for watching today's episode.
Yep.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Bye, guys. But enough about me. Behold.
Current weather is 35 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly clear skies. You can expect more of the same tonight with a low of 26 degrees.
Could you hear that?
Not really.
Okay, well, my ALEXA just told me what the weather was.
Literally not even 2 seconds later.
The world has never seen before. But enough about me.
The world that never was is a place that can be found in Kingdom Hearts 2.
I didn't ask you!